Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm here with my lovely co-hostess, with the co-mostess.
Yeah.
Sarah Levine. Sarah, what's going on? What's new? What's good?
What's
boys,
new?
What's happening?
No, nothing.
No boys this time, huh?
No, I'm too tired.
So tired. Aren't we all?
Yes.
I mean, the winter is the Monday of the year, you know?
True. January, literally is the Monday of the year because it's the beginning, but also it just feels so depressing.
Yes. Now, there is good news, and this is something that helps me. I remember this every day. It gets brighter. It's
Yes.
getting brighter every day.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It's staying darker a little bit later. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's 5 o'clock. Great. And we got sunlight. I love it.
here we go.
Soon it'll be 6 and then we'll be ready.
People in Arizona are listening to this like, what are they even talking about,
I know.
dude?
How dare they?
I
But
don't know why
it's
they
true.
talk like California people.
It's all the same out there.
Speaking of Mondays, we use a task management software called Monday.com, which I actually don't recommend. But anyway, that's a different story.
Anti-sponsor post.
Anti-sponsor. But all you need to know is that it's something that tech companies and companies use to manage projects. And it's called Monday.com. But what's interesting, this is kind of making me laugh, is that our company is based in Israel. And in Israel, their Monday
Oh, yeah. Their Monday is just the middle of the week.
is Sunday. No?
Their first day. Yes.
Right? Because
Their Thursday is Friday because
Aha.
Friday is Shabbat.
So Sunday is their Monday. So their Monday.com is actually our Tuesday.com.
That's all right. So they invented something that didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, Israel.
So here's
Typical.
my tale of woe. Sarah can say that. She's Jewish. Calm down, everybody.
Yeah, I've been to Israel 3 times. I basically live there.
This is my tale of woe. Now, are you familiar with OfferUp, Sarah?
No, actually.
So OfferUp is just Craigslist. It's an app that does the same things Craigslist does. Local listings, sell your Game Boy
Oh,
Advance.
kind of like Let Go.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
exactly the same as Let Go.
I got it.
Now, OfferUp has a feature where you can ship now. Oh, isn't that special? Now you
Yes.
can sell your, Millennium Barbie that you threw up on, but you're sure it's still pretty good shape to somebody.
People want that shit.
Right? People want it. And so I go to sell my mechanical keyboard. A mechanical keyboard is like a clicky keyboard. Do you know a mechanical keyboard?
I don't know.
It kind of makes a satisfying click. Anyway, my girlfriend
okay.
thought it was really annoying. So there you go. It's trash.
Oh, sorry. I know this is not relevant to the podcast, but a
Sure.
mechanical keyboard as opposed to what?
So keyboards use
Like a
either
regular desktop
mechanical, yes, switches, and the switch is what makes that wonderful clicking sound.
Okay.
And then your average keyboard uses like a membrane. It's like
You
a
mean
plastic.
your average laptop keyboard?
Yes, like any standard keyboard
Okay.
is not mechanical.
Oh, okay. So you mean like the desktop computer keyboard that's like a separate whole situation from your monitor?
Yes, like a keyboard, Sarah.
I
I
understand.
can't break it down much farther.
Well, I don't know, but by specifying it as mechanical, you made it sound more
That's what it
complicated than
is.
it was.
No,
okay,
that
but
is-
you could have
no,
just
no.
said a keyboard.
It's a special kind of keyboard called a mechanical keyboard. They're more expensive than a normal keyboard.
Okay.
Most keyboards use plastic little, but these use switches. They're fancy switches, Sarah.
Okay.
It's something that nerds buy. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
You
Yeah, I
don't
feel
want
like you're
it.
yelling at me for not understanding this when like most normal people would not understand this.
I did the clicking sound, damn it. Anyway.
Yeah, but okay.
So you are not the person who bought this from me in California.
Sure.
Clearly.
I'm clearly not.
You're ready to pay me to never talk about mechanical keyboards again, which personally I think is
I'm
correct.
willing to pay you to explain it better to me, but this is not the podcast.
I know it sounds crazy, Sarah, but the reason people like them is because they feel different and click
Yes.
better than other keyboards. That's it. And it costs
Okay.
$120 new.
Okay.
I'm selling it to a guy in Cali for $60 used.
Okay, how long have you used it for?
Oh, no, it's brand new. I barely used it.
Okay, cool.
I bought it because I got it in my head. I was like, a new keyboard, that'll make my life better. No, you're a fucking idiot.
And it's like, no, you need to fix the problems within yourself that came with the keyboard.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I sell it to this guy, and then OfferUp acts as an intermediary, and they are supposed to take his money, and I'm supposed to ship it within 3 days.
Yes.
Now, I get a notification from them that says the sale is canceled because you
Oh.
didn't send it fast enough. But if you already sent it, the sale will still go through. And I'm like, oh.
So they don't have, okay, they have like a tracking.
Yeah, they send you the shipping label. And I was
great.
like, oh, you know what? It just sent me that. I'll just send it tonight because clearly if the shipping label still works, I'm barely late. And also, how do they know I saw that notification? Because I saw it like as a push notification.
Oh boy. Okay.
So I was like, they don't know that I saw the push. I'm good to go. So I send the keyboard.
That's dicey. Okay.
And that's it. It goes through and I don't get paid. I forget about it for 2 months. Then I'm like, hey, I never got paid for my keyboard. So I email OfferUp and I go, hey, I sent the keyboard and I didn't get paid. And they're like, oh, yeah, we confirmed that you sent it and we confirmed that they received it. And that's it. You can ask them for the money, but that's all we're going to do.
What?
And I was like, I'm sorry. You're confirming that he has it and that I sent it and you're just out? And they're like, yeah, that's it. You can send him a message. So I send him a message. I say, hey, man, how's the keyboard? He doesn't respond. Obviously, he's not an idiot.
Yeah, like what? You have to go ask him for the money out of the goodness of his heart?
Yep.
Huh?
And so I keep going up the ladder to various customer service people, and they all say the exact same thing. And
why would you use this service? What's the point then?
Well,
if they're not going to fight for you,
their excuse is that I sent it late, so therefore, fuck me. That's their policy, apparently.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, well, finally, and I'm literally going back with their customer service agents because I was like, one way to win this war is to just not let it end. And then finally, I just lose it. And I'm just like, here's what's going to happen. Okay. I say, and by the way, I never attack the customer service rep. I say, by the way, thank you for helping me. I appreciate that. I understand you're constrained by policy. Let your manager know this is what's going to happen. 1, I'm going to buy offerupisascam.com. I will populate that site with the emails here that show that you tell me the buyer got their item and I shipped it. I will also populate the site with a 2,000 word SEO optimized article covered with all the complaints I can find about OfferUp. There's no shortage online. Okay. That was just bullet point 1. There were 6 bullet points. And I had to flex and be like, oh, my TikTok and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I dropped every single flex.
They're like, we can't offend Gen Z. We got to get on this shit. Right? This is incredible. Oh my God. That's like some Anna Delvey shit.
Yep. I 6-point bullet them. I forgot where the other threats were. It was like, I will report this to the media. I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to document it. Oh, the other kicker was like, you're taking $60 from me. I'm going to spend $60 on $30 Instagram ad spending and $30 Google ad clicks. So and then at the end, after my 6-point list, I say, I estimate the revenues lost from this at least in the hundreds of dollars. However, with SEO, it's hard to predict, but down the road, this could be thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, which I actually believe is true. It's probably not true just because if you Google OfferUp, they're getting destroyed. People hate this company.
Oh, really?
Oh, there's like 2 sites that compile reviews for businesses, and both of them have OfferUp at 1 star and hundreds of reviews. So anyway, I send this message, and what do you think happens, Sarah?
I'm sure they gave you your $60, but Jesus.
Colleen responded to me, not to out her or anything, but she was a sweetie. I like Colleen. She just goes, I'm the manager, and it's funny. FedEx can be weird. And I was like, FedEx can be weird, Colleen.
Your FedEx and your policy, but no, mostly FedEx. That is honestly kind of nuts, Danny. I respect it, but I'm also equally parts scared. That's a lot of effort.
Well, and I was like, would I really have done it if they had doubled down? And I don't know. I think it would be the kind of thing where if I was feeling empty one day and I might become charged with angry energy at it.
That's great. I do respect it, but that is a lot of very specific threats to make.
To rationalize it a little bit.
To be like, I'm going to spend the money to get a website and pay for the hosting, spend my time copywriting this website and populating it. That is...
Well, I was going to pay someone, but I was going to spend $400 to make them lose tens of thousands of dollars, which is worth my while.
But to only really make you $60.
No, I was going to lose way more money. Well, no, but I will hurt a company. If they're going to play like that, I will spend, to me, it's nothing. To me, spend $400 to cost an evil corporation tens of thousands of dollars. I love it.
You're so wild.
Because I'm a justice. I believe in justice, Sarah.
Oh my God. You're internet vigilante justice. We should get you on that Don't Fuck with Cats documentary. Next time someone is...
Why? Someone mess with cats? What's the documentary?
Oh my God. You have to watch it. It's called Don't Fuck with Cats. It's about this guy. He uploaded all these videos to... I don't even think it was the dark web. I think it was the regular ass web of him torturing cats. Then these people on Facebook found the videos and they were like, we got to hunt this guy down. Long story short, he ends up also killing a person and they get sort of involved in like the hunt to also bring him to justice. It's really good. But anyway, I feel like that would be
real?
It's real.
He goes to prison?
What's not real, in my opinion, is how much this Facebook group helped.
Yeah, of course.
But still, like he's in jail right now in Canada.
Wow. Now,
that's your future, I think.
I think so. I urge all the listeners, though, if you have a customer service incident and you're struggling, bring me in, people. I will fight for you. I love to fight these people.
I would maybe conceive to do something vaguely similar, i.e. go to the media, but I would never be like, here's my 6-point plan to kill you in the Google rankings.
Yeah, no, I planned it out. And actually, I have another story, just a short one. My friend got in a fight with Priceline.
Oh boy!
They basically booked her a hotel. This. Yeah, I told you about it. They unbooked her hotel, and she literally had nowhere to sleep. And they were just like, "Oh, we'll refund you." And she was like, "No. I couldn't sleep. Like, there was nowhere I could go to sleep." And they're like, "No, we'll refund you." And she's like, "You don't understand."
Yeah, and what ended up happening with that?
After a long, protracted war, she got $400 from them, which I think is fair.
That's okay.
Go to war with the corpse.
Yeesh.
It's worth it. They suck and they have more money than you. So fuck them.
You're right. And I know. I guess I just think about it and I'm like, is doing all this effort and my time worth the $60? Like, no, but for you at that point, it's not. It's the principle. It's not about the money.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the other thing too. I was like, this is a content opportunity. If I make a video slamming these people with tons of evidence, people are going to take my side. I'm just a crazy person.
Maybe you should just do it anyway.
I should do it.
I mean, I kind of am.
I did not mention my podcast, so I'm not really breaking the agreement, but anyway, guys.
What is the agreement? They're not going to take you to court.
Yeah, you're right. No, of course. There's no agreement.
Fuck them. That sounds like a shitty company anyway. Yeah.
I mean, they're already getting destroyed. Anyway.
You should sell your shit on like Poshmark if you're going to do that.
Poshmark. Use Let
They
Go.
act as an or like eBay, don't they?
eBay.
They act as an intermediary for you. You don't just want someone who's going to be like, oh, well, just ask them nicely.
Yeah, ask them for
us. That's not a thing. I don't need you for
like,
that.
You ask. I don't understand.
I could have done that myself. Ugh. I have Venmo.
Right.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Big ups to our new Patreon subscriber, Ashley. Thank you so much for joining
to the club.
The Patreon. So we really enjoyed the call-in show. That was a lot of fun.
That was so fun.
So fun. We got to do that again, huh?
We do.
Please reach out if you wanted to be on the call-in show. Throw a submission over there on AITApod.com. Anyway, let's start this bad boy up.
It's
Sarah.
AITA Pod. I won't let you do this to the podcast.
Oh, what'd I say?
AITA Pod. I'm like, no, people are going to think we're eating pod. No, I don't want this.
AITApod.com.
People are foolish.
We don't want this theme put together by Sarah. Stranger than fiction. Each scenario sounds like an episode of TV.
It does. I didn't do this on purpose. This theme came to me retroactively.
Retroactive theme making.
Yes.
AITA for trying to sell my sandwich recipe to various delis in my town by You Sandwich Business. Recently, I came up with what I think is a very delicious and innovative sandwich recipe. The ingredients complement each other beautifully, even though the combination is unique. I came up with a basic business idea to generate some extra money from this sandwich. The city I live in has a lot of delis. I have been approaching the manager. I'm sorry, but does it? Does it have a normal amount of delis?
I don't know. I cut a good bit where he was describing like the range of the types of deli. I was like, dude, we don't care.
I have been approaching the managers at these delis with the following proposal. For a one-time fee of $50, I will sell them the recipe and also conduct a training session for their staff on how to properly make the sandwich and also to educate them on the themes present in the sandwich. Then I will take a 20% cut of the price for each sandwich sold. So let's just say one deli took my deal and they charged $10 for my sandwich and they only sold 10 of them per day. I'd make $140 per week, $190 the first week with the fee, and basically $560 per month. Okay, I don't know why we need the whole business plan.
You're right. I should have cut that. From
one place. But to be honest, I have faith in my sandwich will probably sell around 40 to 50 per day, given the volume of customers and the quality of my sandwich. So you do the math. Plus, I'd be having more than one deli sell it. Ka-ching. I've approached 11 deli managers so far, and everyone so far has said no, and a few of them have even acted weird or even rude to me on the matter. Twice I got into a slight argument based on the interaction. They don't seem to understand the value of my sandwich. I think maybe many of them are too proud to take a recipe from an outsider. from outside the extremely guarded sandwich industry.
Yes, that's it.
But I feel I am being reasonable. When I explain to my friends what I'm doing and that I intend to keep approaching delis on this matter, many of them claimed I was being an asshole by doing this. They think it is rude, basically, to ask a deli to sell my recipe and that I shouldn't fight for my dreams. I think my terms are generous, and I'm really only hoping these delis, if they would only open their minds. If they sold my sandwich, their profits would grow measurably, even after I take my cut. Is it really that rude to try to sell my recipe? My friends are threatening to not go to lunch with me anymore because I promised them I will try to sell my recipe when we do so, but all I'm doing is trying to hustle. This has caused interpersonal conflict because I defend my dreams with passion, which leads to my friends accusing me of overreacting. And yes, I am passionate when I try to sway deli managers too. I even cried once, but it is with their own interest in mind, not just my own. AITA. It's so cute. This reminds me of me a lot as a kid. I remember I had this idea to like start a business to sell snow to the children because it's Arizona, so there was no snow.
There we go. Okay.
I mean, this is just nuts.
How'd it go?
How'd it go? I never even got the capital to get the snow machine.
My God, just another small business owner getting squashed by big capitalism.
Know, right? There was all the other snow machines.
That's so funny. This is like, I mean, it's obviously fake, but I like pretending that it's real because
You think this is obviously fake?
I think I'm scared to live in a world where someone would cry over their ridiculous idea to try to franchise a sandwich.
I don't know. I've met people who are more delusional than this. I'm not going to say it's common, but I've met comedians who are like 0% funny, and then they'll come up to you and be like, "Yeah, I'm auditioning for Conan." And I'm like,
"Okay, listen. Next time you're going to talk about me, don't do it on the podcast."
I know, right?
Just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I need to know what this sandwich entails, but obviously this guy wouldn't be so stupid as to put it on Reddit. But
I'm going to be honest. I'm sold. I want to try this thing for $10.
I want to try it, but I'm not going to try it for $50.
No, that's
this
crazy.
Is so
But I mean, look, trying to break this down, which does almost seem ridiculous. Like,
yes.
What is actually the crime here? I mean, he is offering essentially a really shitty business proposition.
Okay. First of all, there's many crimes. He's offering it when no one is soliciting it.
So there's nothing wrong with that. He's going to a deli that's a place of business, and he's offering some business.
So I'm just kind of picturing him going and like accosting these poor people who work at this deli who don't have any say in what's going on.
You mean like the sandwich makers?
Yeah, like the people just physically making the sandwiches, and like they probably don't have any say or want anything to do with it. Also, he's not calmly taking no for an answer. He's getting kind of
heated,
hostile, and
That's true.
Crying.
That's true. I mean, and like, I'm not here to say this guy isn't delusional. I mean, look, I think the numbers are really ridiculous as well. It's sort of like, I mean, how many sandwich? Where does this guy live?
I know. I'm like, he hasn't done any research is the other thing to be like if this dude was on Shark Tank, he would have gotten immediately left out of the room. You have no research. You just think you're going to sell
proprietary sandwiches.
Right.
Sir.
First of all, nothing is proprietary about it because you're not going to sell it to multiple delis. Once you sell it to one, they're all going to copy it. Why would they pay you for it?
Yeah, good point.
And also, like, I forgot what I was going to say.
I don't even know if
it's ingredients. Like, what do you mean? You don't have a patent on a sandwich.
Well,
does he?
Put a patent on a sandwich? I don't know if that's possible.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I feel like there might be a business model there.
Maybe. So patent the sandwich first.
Patent the sandwich.
But also, like, where is he getting this? Like, I would sell 40 or 50 per day. Like, what is this based on? Just your own impression that this is a great sandwich?
Right.
It's not based on market research. Why am I taking this seriously? I'm mad at myself.
Yeah, where's the hype going to come from? Like, how do all these people going to hear about this sandwich?
Right. How many sandwiches does this deli even sell per day that you think you're going to get 40 to 50?
I'm thinking it is New York because I've never been. I think New York has bodegas uniquely, right?
Yeah.
So he's talking about bodegas.
He said, and I cut this out, but it was like there's a range between hipster delis and like corner delis type place. So it's probably New York. Also, New York does have enough delusional scammers to try to have one of these type of dudes.
New York. And by the way, no other city has delis. None. Only New York City. Top FB comment by Wendy G. I wouldn't want to go to lunch with you either. I don't know if you're an asshole, but you sound like a douche. If your dumbass sandwich is so great, why don't you open your own douche deli and sell it?
A little harsh on the language, but she's not wrong with the point.
I don't know. I'm kind of into the douche deli. What other things do they have there? They're like,
Oh, gray Patagonia vests, and everyone who works there is named Tyler.
And they always whisper when you're done. They're like, "Do you want to buy any Coke? There's a guy in the back. Do you want to buy some Coke?"
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we got ladies get in for free, men $5."
Right. Coming in second, good old Kevin H. writes, YTA, go to culinary school or business school, or don't be a sociopath school.
Oh, classic.
I mean, I think the other thing about this too is like, fine, hustle, but like there is an appropriate way. Like, and I think,
this is so inappropriate on every level.
There's nothing wrong with having a shitty business and pitching it. That's cute. I mean, I think this is a grown man, so it's, and let's
so
face
it's a little
it's
concerning.
A man. It's a man. No
we
woman
know it's a man.
would
Thank
be ridiculous enough to think a proprietary sandwich is $1 million idea.
No woman would have grown up with the confidence that her ridiculous idea is worth this much. Society would have beaten her down by now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know it's a dude, probably a white dude. Come on, let's be real.
Yeah, no, that definitely reads top reasonable comment according to Sarah. Christopher H writes, yes, YTA, do me a favor and look up food and labor costs. Long story short, them giving you 20% of sale price means they make no money on the sandwich and most likely have to pay you from their own pocket to cover part of the 20% that wasn't covered by profit margin.
Wait, the other thing that I thought was so funny was that this guy wanted to train these people on a sandwich as if they can't figure out how to assemble a bunch of ingredients onto bread.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like, are we on SpongeBob? Are you making a Krabby Patty?
Right,
It's not that deep.
Well, he also says educate them on the themes present in the sandwich.
The themes.
What
oh my
could
God.
that even be? Like, I don't even know how I could try. Like, the mustard and ham form a brave element because the mustard has a harsh taste, but the ham has sort of a bland, salty taste.
Sold. $50. There you go.
Maybe, and maybe this guy is putting something really weird in there, you know, like his own fluids, bodily fluids.
Ooh, gross.
I just meant spit, everyone. Don't freak out.
Either way, it's gross.
Top Reddit comment by Pile Driver. YTA, break this down from the deli manager's perspective. A guy off the street with no experience wants me to pay him $50, close down my kitchen for a quote-unquote training session on his mystery sandwich, and give him 20% of each sandwich sold. In an industry he knows nothing about, where margins are already razor thin, I am the one who took a huge risk opening up a deli, taking out debt, creating jobs, and dealing with all the overhead that a restaurant entails. I don't think it's a restaurant anyway. And this guy who has taken absolutely none of that risk wants to use my resources to make his dream sandwich a reality. This guy who, again, has no experience in this business, why on earth would I take this deal?
Too real.
Pretty real.
Yeah, because the real thing is like, and this guy's making it seem like he's out here hustling. I'm like, no, dude, you're out here bothering people. Like, you're one of those people who's in a multi-level marketing scheme.
Right, that's true.
And you're like hitting up all your friends and family and harassing them.
Spot on.
If you were really hustling, you would open up a food truck or something.
Right. This deal is so bad it's insulting. That's it. You hit it. It's just like the freaking MLMers, you know. I
feel like this is such a Primerica, dude. I can really see it.
What's Primerica? I don't know that one.
They're the one that Betsy DeVos is an heiress to that family.
Oh,
and they just, the thing is, I don't even know what Primerica sells because I think they sell just like a bunch of random shit. They don't have one hook. They're not like, we do skincare, we do leggings. They're just like, I don't know, we sell water and here you go. Like, it's so weird.
Water and tiny figurines of horses.
Exactly. It's all over the place.
And you're like, what? There's no market for that. I was thinking though, so I think the real sin here though is not having, right? Like, honestly, look, if someone gets to do an MLM, obviously I'm annoyed. Obviously I don't respect them now, but I wouldn't be angry at them unless they presented it at inappropriate times or they were inappropriately forceful.
It sounds like this guy is doing that.
Of course, exactly. And I think you made a great distinction. It's like, there is a way to hustle. Hustling does mean doing extraordinary things that normal people wouldn't do. It doesn't mean breaking social conventions, right? Like, there's an appropriate way. Yeah. There's an appropriate way to do this. Like you said, start a food truck or like partner with a deli and say like, hey, like I have the sandwich. I believe in the sandwich, but like going to them with this kind of brutal setup where you basically know nothing and you're unwilling to learn.
Yeah, you're not learning anything, you're not putting any of the risk, and you're not doing any of the work, except for the fact that you bought a bunch of groceries at the grocery store one time and put it together. Like, you have no skin in this game, so why should this person Like, why would this person do this?
No, there's no reason. It's ballsy. I do want to try the sandwich. I can't stress that enough.
I know. Truly. OP, if you're out there, make us this sandwich. We'll consider it.
So Don S. writes, sounds like a George Costanza theme, which is a Seinfeld reference. People say I'm George Costanza all the time. So.
That was a TV tie-in. I was like, I literally commented in the group. I was like, what TV episode is this? This can't be real.
AITA for trying to sell my sandwich recipe to various delis in my town. I think we agree. I mean, it's relatively minor, but you are...
YTA.
YTA. AITA for laughing when my friend said that my lack of social media was a red flag. Oh, Sarah, I think we're going to fight about this one, aren't we?
We might, but we actually might not.
We already fought on Reddit about it, or on Facebook.
We did. Join the group. It's fun.
You throw away PQJD me. I, 21M, have no Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, or anything of that kind. I've read it and I barely use it. I'm currently playing the dating field. I've had a relationship before, but I'm looking for someone. I've been on 2 dates with this one girl, 21F, and it's going well. She was surprised at my lack of social media, but not turned off or deterred. We have a third date set up. Anyways, my other friend, 21F, said that some girls will see my lack of social media as a quote-unquote red flag. Honestly, when she said that, my first reaction was to laugh out loud. She was confused and asked me why I laughed, and I answered honestly by saying if it's a red flag to them, then good, because it tells me which kind of girls I don't want to go for if that's what they think. She got offended by what I said and called me an asshole. I don't know why she reacted that negatively. AITA. I mean, Sarah, where are
Danny.
you on this?
We are, but the thing is, I actually don't think that we disagree on the main point.
Okay, well, hit me with the main point.
Okay, I mean, I think that the main point is like when you're talking about deal breakers, like a belief that you believe so inherently that apparently has never been challenged before.
Right.
If someone challenges it, your first instinct is probably to laugh and think they're being ridiculous. Like we have this all the time. So I'm not going to fault him for that.
You're not going to fault him for laughing in his friend's face?
No. I feel like you laugh in my face all the time and vice versa.
Well, I try to make you laugh, and that's when you don't laugh, generally. So I guess what I feel here is that it was rude. And the thing is, first of all, let's just start with this guy. He doesn't use any social media. Good on him.
Except he does use Reddit.
Well, Reddit's for freaks. You know what I mean? Like that's how I contact my men's rights group. So... I don't think this is normal, though. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's normal.
You're right. It's not normal. It's not popular, but I don't think that makes it inherently bad. In fact, he's probably better off for it.
Probably. Well, I have screen time now on my phone. And Danny my girlfriend has the password. I only get 5 minutes of Instagram a day.
That's it.
And let me tell you, I don't miss it.
Wow.
I don't miss it. Because I will get lost in those scrolls. I was easily putting an hour a day into that shit.
Well, my screen time is like you spent 7 hours a day on your phone. And I'm like, look, I don't need to be attacked. I didn't even sign up for this shit. You're just giving it to me.
Can you turn it? I don't even know if you can turn it off.
I'm sure you can, and I probably turned it on somehow. And I'm like, you know what? Ignorance is bliss. I don't need to know.
So,
but yeah, no, I don't think it's inherently bad just because it's unpopular.
It's not inherently bad. Look, living in an igloo isn't inherently bad. Living in an RV isn't inherently bad.
You're right.
A lot of things aren't inherently bad, but are still uncommon and weird.
The norm. But I don't think I necessarily need to come at him for the element of surprise. Like, all right, look, we're not robots. You can't control how you'd react in every situation. The one thing I do take issue with is him being like, if it's a red flag, good, because it tells me which kind of girls I don't want to go for. It's like,
yeah, well, he was being a dick.
That comment, I'm like, I think I know what you're getting at, and I just don't like it.
That's just as insane as saying, well, if they don't want to date a guy who lives in an igloo, then I don't want to date them. And it's like, well, they probably have to be brought on board. It's uncommon to live in an igloo. It seems uncomfortable, but then you learn the ice actually insulates it. It's very comfortable. I'm working on building an igloo, Sarah. But
I always tried to build those as a kid, so I'm jealous, and I will come to your igloo house cooling party.
Thank you.
I disagree with the delivery, but I don't really disagree with the sentiment.
I totally disagree with this sentiment. He's
Why?
saying if it's a red flag, doesn't a red flag mean it's a thing to be alarmed about? Well, it is alarming. Social media is very common. It's very pervasive. It's just as alarming and odd as if someone said, I don't watch TV or movies. You'd be like, okay, that's weird. Like, that's how most people are socialized and think about the world.
But just because I don't agree with someone's habits or that would make me not interested in them, that's not necessarily like a bad thing for either one of us.
I never said it was a bad thing. I said it was a red flag. What does that mean? It's alarming. That's what a red flag is. It's like alarm, warning.
Yeah, but I guess there's nothing wrong. I guess I'm having trouble thinking that there's something wrong with like someone not wanting to date me after finding out something about my habits versus like trying to make them come around. Like, that's what dating is. It's like you're just finding information about someone else and vice versa.
Right.
So like, what is wrong with saying like, if you don't like this thing that I do, then I'm not the one for you? And that's kind of what this guy is saying.
Kind of, but I feel
it's
like...
kind of like my mom is always like, don't you think that guys like reading your tweets about like, oh, man ain't shit, or like this dude ghosted me, like would be discouraged from dating you? And I'm like, maybe, but first of all, the tweets are all I have. And second of all, if you're going to be threatened by that, then like you're not the one, you know?
Yeah, I mean, to address that specifically, men who get butthurt by reading a tweet that says all men are trash, it's like, bro, seriously?
You are the trash you wish to see in the world.
You know,
no.
But also your tweets are deceiving because those seem mean. Those are pretty rare though. You don't really tweet that much. I don't know.
It's only when I get really hurt.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Like, just kidding, but not.
You're not mean at all. We've discussed this at length.
But
you're like the least mean person
I guess what I'm
know.
just saying is like, if you have this habit,
like you've never called me trash. That's what I'm calling you.
No, I'm not mean.
You're not mean at all. So you're also misleading these men who are like, she hates men, and then they hang out with you, and you're like, hi, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. Here's the flower. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but hear me on this. Look, let's not go into that. Everyone can have whatever red flags they want, and maybe you're right. If it's going to be such a big red flag, he's alarmed. But it was mean to the girl he was talking to. That's why I view him as...
Why?
Because he was calling her an idiot.
Why?
He was being condescending to her. Because she said that. She said, some girls will see my lack of social media as a red flag. Right? That is a valid point. They're
That's
21,
true.
so like that's mind-blowing to him.
Yeah, you're right. You're not even on TikTok. Like, what are you doing, sir?
Right. And then when she said that, his first reaction was to laugh out loud. So that's a little bit like rude because what she was saying was valid and true. Then she was confused, asked why he laughed, and he said if it's a red flag to them, then good. Because it tells me which kind of girls I don't want to go for if that's what they think. And I feel like she took it personally. Right?
This is what I think. I think he said something, and you're right. I think she's almost like projecting it onto herself.
Of course she is, because most people use social media. It's the normal thing to use social media.
But then it's like, why do you care what he's saying about that being a red flag unless you want him to date you? Like, I just don't get it.
Maybe she does.
Maybe she does, but... To me, like reading this on paper without any tone or whatever, I'm like, there's nothing inherently wrong with anything that either of them is saying. Like, neither of them are wrong.
I mean, I think he is factually wrong. I mean, I'll give you that he has a right, Sarah, to say that, oh, if a girl views social media as a red flag, then I don't want to go for her. But I would also be like, you're an idiot. It is a red flag. It's a red flag to me. If I meet a man at a party and he's like, I don't use social media, I'm like, oh, well, that's odd. Why is that? That's what I would say. I would be taken aback because it's weird, you know, to use no social media at all. I would be, yeah. And then if he's like, oh, you actually live in the woods, I'd be like, that's also very weird.
Like,
which
cool,
woods?
Cool. I'm out of here. I don't want to get murdered.
Right.
I actually think I think that possibly more women would be okay with a guy not using social media because social media can create like so many problems and jealousy in a relationship.
True. Yeah, it does.
So I wonder if, I don't know. I just wonder if that would be at play at all.
But what I see douchey about him is that he didn't make her feel heard at all, and it was rude. I don't know that it makes him an asshole, but I think what's asshole-ish here is the notion that somebody else is unattractive because they view his blatantly weird behavior as a red flag, which is just another way of saying blatantly weird. It is. They're right. It is absolutely a red flag.
Yeah, they're right.
Great.
They're not. No, they're obviously not wrong. Like most people use social media. That's an objective fact.
Yes, it's weird. Just like if you say, I don't like music, I don't like there's a myriad of things. Anyway, let me just quote myself. Now I'm going to weirdly read. I said, no assholes here, but it is objectively weird and uncommon. The notion that a girl finding it weird would tell you something about her is complete nonsense. You're the oddball. And the reality is that most people who don't use social media are weird. See, that's the other aspect here, Sarah, is that they are mostly right. Maybe he's one that's not so weird, but most people who don't use social media are a little weird. It's a freaky thing to do.
I don't know. I don't know that many people outside of my parents who don't use social media, so like I can't judge.
And your parents are weird.
Hey, they're great.
Your parents don't even have Facebook?
No, I mean now my parents have Facebook.
Of
like
course
everyone has
Everyone
Facebook.
has it now. Everyone. Your grandma has a Facebook.
My grandma's dead.
Hey,
keep her name
too.
out your mouth.
Mine's dead too. That wasn't her name. What was her name? Grandma, that was her name to you, not a real name. So anyway, I think my point here is, without trying not to reiterate, is look, if you're weird, be weird. Own the fact that you're weird, but know that you are weird. There's nothing wrong with being weird. I'm weird.
We're all weird. I'm kind of more in the camp of Don S. He says, NTA, and your friend needs to learn that your lifestyle choices aren't a personal attack on hers. However, I would say it goes both ways, and I think that they're both right. And by also the same logic, neither of them are wrong.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
like I don't think she's the asshole because she got a little emotional and took it personally.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's wrong in being like, if you disagree with my lifestyle choice, then you're not the one for me. Like he said it a little assholey.
Yeah, well, and he was indirectly, even if she wasn't attracted to him, he is just sort of saying like, what you do is a deal breaker to me. That's kind of harsh. Like, that's harsh. That's a mean thing to say.
I guess, I don't know. I'm just like
imagine I said that to you, like, oh, Sarah, the fact that you post so much on Twitter, that's like a deal breaker. I would never want to date a girl who posts so much. You'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's mean.
It doesn't bother me. It's like, that doesn't affect me because I'm not trying to do that. And like, I'm confident in the shit that I do and why I do it. So like,
yeah,
your opinion.
Well, they're 21.
Yeah, they're fucking stupid.
They're confident about nothing.
They're stupid.
You're like, oh, that's weird. You're weird. I'm
like,
weird.
oh my God, you didn't answer my Snapchat? Ugh.
Andro Mache 97 with the top Reddit comment. YTA for this. And then he uses the quote that OP put here. If it's a red flag to them, then good, because it tells me which kind of girls I don't want to go for if that's what they think. Andro writes, it is extremely common for people to lie about not having social media or to keep the people they are dating from seeing their social media because they have something to hide, like a spouse, kids, etc. It's not irrational to see it as a bit of a red flag. Wow, I never even thought of that.
That's a good point. OP is being a bit naive in like him, because the one thing I took issue with it is him saying kinds of girls, and I think what he's thinking, and maybe I'm just projecting, is him thinking like Instagram models, shallow girls. And it's like, if you're a woman and you use social media, it doesn't make you shallow. It makes you like a regular participant of a large part of society.
Yeah.
So that is the one thing I took issue with.
Right. And I think you're onto something. That is sort of what he was saying. And I think that's why she was offended, you know? There's nothing wrong with posting a little selfie here
or
and
just
there.
like, it doesn't matter. Like, you all use social media for different reasons. Like, if you want to lurk on Instagram, if you want to like memes and send them to your friends, it doesn't mean you're all thirst trapping out here.
Right.
And even if you are, it doesn't make you like a bad person. Post those booty pics.
Yeah, so TV tie-in, you wrote. Michelle L. said, on the preview for you on Netflix, the girl says his, quote, lack of socials, unquote, concerned her and he's a murderer, LOL.
Spoiler! But yeah, that was a loose TV tie-in. I found
shit.
that after
Did we
the
just
fact.
spoil that for
No,
someone?
that's the whole premise of the show.
Okay.
I haven't even seen it. I know that.
I mean, I think social media is super toxic. I was telling you 5 minutes a day on Instagram is my screen time. And look, I don't miss it. I don't miss it. So I get it. There's
You're better off for it.
You're better off for it, you know? And honestly, if you start forwarding your memes, I know it's a lot of extra effort for you. I'd read every one of them. But I think that the problem is just the distortion field of seeing everyone's highlights. I think that, and that's always been the problem. And I think that problem got worse with Instagram. I'll say that.
Oh, 100%. Because now you have all these pictures. This blew my mind. I looked at this girl. She posted a carousel of like the picture that you think is on her feed, and then you swipe and it's the picture she actually took. And she didn't use Facetune. All she used was these preset filters.
Yeah.
She was standing basically on like a dirt like, I don't know, like whatever, an expanse of dirt and like some grass or some shit and like maybe some water in the background. It made her look like she was at a beach.
Oh, that's
because
hilarious.
she edited it into oblivion. And I was like, this is impressive, but also scary.
Yeah.
Like you're literally just standing on a patch of dirt.
Right.
And I think you're in Maui.
And I think it's extra hard if you live in New York because you're like walking in. If you're me, you're walking into the PATH station, which is like an enormous windowless, cold nightmare. And it usually smells like poop. And then you're looking at someone in Maui. There's always someone, you know?
Always someone.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, I mean, whatever.
Anyway, I think this is a pretty low crime. AITA for laughing when my friend said that my lack of social media was a red flag. I think this guy's kind of douchey sounding. I think he should be a little kinder to his lady friend who's honestly just trying to help him.
She's trying to help. I guess I'm like, okay, you're not the asshole for laughing. I'm like, you're maybe a little bit naive.
Yeah.
Inherently wrong. I don't know.
No, I'm not going that far. No assholes here from me.
Yeah, same.
All right, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, listener submissions. AITA for leaving a party when they booked a little person stripper. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You're kind of a little person, Sarah.
Yes.
Can I ask how short you are? Is that rude to ask someone how short they are? I guess that's a rude way to phrase it. How tall are you? Is how it's more commonly said.
It's like I'm 5'2".
You're 5'2".
Yeah.
And what's legally a midget is like 4'10" or something? 5?
I don't remember. I know one of my friends is 4 foot like 8 or 9, and I guess she's legally a midget, but she is actually just a very short person.
Interesting.
Like all of her limbs are proportional. Like
right.
It's nothing like
about
that.
There's dwarfism versus anyway.
Yeah.
ATA for leaving party when they booked a little person stripper. My friend went to a Memorial Day barbecue. It was someone's B-day as well, a double event of sorts with a birthday cake. Wow, sounds like fun.
I know. Sometimes when you read these, I'm like, why did I keep that detail in? I don't know.
Well, that could be good. What if the guy with the sandwich showed up? Then you got the barbecue.
Oh, man.
It's a lot. Birthday
You're right.
cake.
Crossover
special Sammy. After the guy whose birthday it was told to sit in a chair. They played music. A stripper entered. Everyone started cheering. The stripper was a little person. My friend was extremely uncomfortable, but everyone else was laughing and carrying on. I don't know that I've ever carried on. I'm just putting that out there. It's always this...
I've never been at a barbecue that also had a stripper.
Right.
So I feel like I'm
Right.
missing out.
The stripper then tried to give him a lap dance and he booked it out of there. My question, who is the asshole here? Is it the people who booked the little person? Is it the guy who left the room because he was uncomfortable? Or am I the asshole for submitting this?
OP's not the asshole, but OP left out, I think, a lot of crucial information.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I don't know that all that information was available because I may
It's
have
like
transcribed this. I didn't. I wrote it, but it was the story was given to me. I did not make this up. It is a true. Well, it's a secondhand story, but I have every reason to believe it. It is true, Sarah.
No, I don't think that's fake. I guess what I'm wondering is like, now I wonder. I think of that episode from Friends where it's like, did they book a stripper and a little person showed up?
Right.
Did they purposely book a little person? And if so, why?
Right. And it's interesting because the intent does seem to affect how people are thinking about this.
Yeah,
because if you book a little person to laugh at them or because they're weird, then we all like, clearly that person's the asshole.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
But what about the situation where you book a little person because you're like, oh, that'll be interesting, right? Like that'll be provocative, not to make fun of them, but just because you're like, you know, little people are interesting because they're uncommon, right? They're like people who don't use social media. They're very few among us, and that's okay to say, I think. But then
I think booking someone.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish the situation. You book them to be interesting, right? It's not malicious to laugh at them. But then the people at the party laugh at them, right?
Well, that's
because your friends are assholes.
I mean, I think legally that would be a disability. So booking someone because of their disability is like, that's kind of fucked up.
I don't think it's a disability. I don't think a height is a protected kind of class.
It's not height, I do think it is considered one.
Is it?
I think so.
I should have looked this up.
Yeah,
before.
I do think it is. So that like in it is inherently, I think, kind of wrong.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, oh, this is interesting, that's still wrong because it's like you're doing it from a perspective of like, this is weird and I'm going
to
like spectate on the way that you just naturally are. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah, but I look at people all the time and that's how they naturally are.
You're not booking them for an event, so you can like.
But I would. You know,
that's weird.
Well, like for instance, all right, so let's just change a few things here and see how this pans out. What if it's a bachelor party, bunch of dudes, a bunch of straight bros, you as a joke book a man to strip for them, okay? And you know, everyone's laughing and uncomfortable, you know. Does that make you an asshole? And I say no. Probably not. I mean, there is the chance that the stripper could be very offended by it, but I feel like in all likelihood, they're an entertainer.
Right.
They're there to entertain. That is ultimately what they're there to do, right? I don't think strippers in general are there to have sex with anyone or to necessarily do anything sexual. They're there to evoke sex. And that is the very reason people are laughing, because they're straight guys. So like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Let me see it. I don't like that at all. You know what I mean? Like, would you
I
be
know
mad?
what you mean. I don't think it's really the same thing. However, like, I would say best case scenario, if they did this and this was kind of a random accident, like a fluke, that this is just who they got sent, then my thinking is kind of like, I don't know if anyone's the asshole.
Yeah, well, if it was a fluke, I think it's easy to let everyone off the hook. But my other thing is we approach this from the intent of the person who booked the party. What about the feelings of the stripper? For some reason, we didn't even bring that up.
My thing about my feelings of the stripper is like, you can take being a little person out of it. And to me, I just apply it the same way I think of like all strippers, which is like, are you willfully in this business and like everything is all good, course. Then cool.
So then it's cool because they're an entertainer. Imagine they were the exact like prototypical stripper, the most basic stripper you would ever expect, right? But people are laughing. Why? Because strippers make people uncomfortable already. Because they evoke sexuality, and sex in public is funny.
I mean, I do think that if you go to any strip club, like, and you're a newbie, you might laugh uncomfortably. I just don't know if that's what's happening here.
Well, but I do think, when I think about this little person who's a stripper, I think, you know what? They're comfortable doing it. And they don't need you to feel bad for them. That's the one approach I see to this. That
I think it's kind of like the same thing as any sex worker. It's like they have what's the word? Like agency, and if they're choosing to do this, like they are choosing it, and so like nobody needs you to white knight for them. Right.
They could just leave if they didn't really like the vibe. But so here's the other situation I thought, which I think is pretty analogous. I'm a comedian. I do stand-up. What if someone books me to do a show where they're basically going to ambush me? And then the question starts to be how clear and how did they kind of book me, right? Because if they book me, they're like, listen, we want you to do your act.
Wait, ambush you in what way?
We're going to heckle you, for instance. Everyone's going to heckle you.
Weird kink, but okay.
Well, yeah, but if they told me that, they're like, the point of this is not for you to do your act, even though you're going to do your act, but the point is for us to mess with you, or we're going to mess with Bob, right? You're just part of a greater scene. Or like they bring me into it. And they're like, are you on board? And I'm like, absolutely, I'm on board. My act isn't even good. I bomb anyway.
I don't even have a personality.
I don't even have a personality. So... But if they brought her in and they were like, this guy has a fetish, I don't know. Like, I don't know, when you book a stripper, do you give them a lot of information about the gig?
I have no idea. I've never booked a stripper.
Because it's hard for me to come for them. And the other thing is,
if it was a non-little person stripper, if it was a normal height person, I don't think that's the term, stripper, would the person have been would the person have left?
No, they left because...
That's also part of it.
They left because they were uncomfortable because they felt like the little person was being exploited somehow. And I don't like that. I find that to be a little weak because it's like, you know what? Maybe you were uncomfortable and maybe that was a problem, is that you actually can't handle the idea that a little person is just confident enough to be a stripper and say, fuck you. People are going to laugh because people laugh anyway. And they don't care. And you couldn't handle that.
That's one side, but there's also the side that's like your friends invited this person to kind of... not belittle, but
belittle.
Fine, belittle.
Oh, yeah, that is bad.
I know, but you know what I mean.
You set me up for it. I was the one who said it. No,
I know. It's like, did your friends invite this person to make them the butt of the joke?
Yeah.
And so the thing is, really, with this is like we just can't know.
Well, okay,
so
hold on. One more situation to run through. So the ideal situation then for a stripper
is just a switcheroo.
It's just a strip. I guess, right? Like,
Wait,
and
what do
then,
you mean?
well, I don't know. And then, like, we should have a stripper on the show, for God's sake. Like, does the stripper want? Because they don't want you to, like, whip out your weenus or anything like that. But like,
The skin on my elbow is not offending anyone.
Yeah, well, okay.
That middle school
good.
joke.
Well, you've got a weird growth on your elbow. Let me tell you. No, so does a stripper go in and want to turn everyone on and want to see people like kind of like adjusting their crotches, or like what is the ideal stripper vibe? Because
that's a good point,
right? Like
I have no idea.
I actually believe
they just want tips.
And I admit, exactly.
And they don't want you to touch them.
That's what someone said. Emily Gross.
It's like, don't touch them and give them tips, and that's what they want.
Emily Gross said, the booker is the asshole all the way. I'm no longer friends with someone who booked Santa and his quote-unquote elf, also a little person, at an all-adult holiday party. The host's many vapid friends were taking selfies with the little person, laughing as if it was some kind of 1930s freak show at a circus. Yes, they get paid, but if the intent is to demoralize and laugh at little people, then it's a different story. But see, again, I feel like Emily G is kind of pushing her views. Like, you know what? Maybe it's fun to be a freaking little person dressed as an elf, and you get joy out of the fact that people think it's funny and think it's interesting. What's wrong with that?
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you just can't know. We're not mind readers, and it's so individualized of a situation. I kind of feel like it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is like even a system / possible career path is built on the fact that like people would laugh at people with different.
Yeah, you're right.
So
there
like
is a
the whole
history
game
there.
is like wrong. And I like, I don't know.
I mean, it's tough because I guess I think if I was friends with a little person and one of these ideas popped into my head, I couldn't do it. Yeah, you're right. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be like, do you want to be the elf? And
no, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up. But then and it's kind of like paying a homeless person to do some ridiculous thing like eat.
So I guess
Oreos
the way I
filled
think
with-
is like I wouldn't fault the individual person for making money out of like for turning a bad situation to their benefit on the individual level, but the whole system is not good. That's I guess the way I feel towards all of this, and I just don't like it at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. We got to get a little person and a stripper on the pod. We have to pay for that. Is that okay? Can we pay?
Oh my God. No, then we're part of the problem.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a really interesting question. Overall, though, I can't bring myself to come for anyone here. I think that the person who annoys me the most here's what it is. The guy who left. You know why I like him the least? Because
Why?
he didn't say nothing to no one. He was a coward.
I feel like I guess.
That's the only person.
But is it like if you're getting the lap dance, getting up and leaving is pretty like how can you communicate anything anymore?
Well, no, but he could have got up and then like hung out for a bit and then been like gone to the party.
Did he just leave the party?
Yes, he left the party. He could have gone up because, and I know that because the person who told me the story.
Oh.
And he could have just gone up to the organizer and been like, "Hey, I just I think this is a bad look. I'm not comfortable with this. Did you tell them?"
It was his party and he left.
It wasn't his party. He was at the party.
He was not the guy getting the lap dance.
No, it wasn't his birthday. It was another friend's birthday.
Oh, this is.
But the stripper
okay.
kind of went around and gave the lap dances. So like,
okay.
I think that person is the person who I have the most legitimate qualms with. He should have done more if he really thought it was so bad. He should have asked the organizer what the deal was.
I guess. But then what? See, I feel like then that would have just spurred this conversation that we're having where it's
Yeah.
like this whole debate of like, is it wrong? And like, you're in a party. These guys are having a fucking barbecue. They're not going to sit here and debate who's morally wrong. They're just going to think you're the asshole and
Well,
tell you to leave.
If the answer was, well, actually the person whose birthday it was has a little person fetish, would that be the right answer?
No.
No?
No, you can't like make your friends be participants in your fetish
But
by
they're
making.
a stripper. That's what the strippers
No.
do. They make you participate in
No.
their thing.
No, I'm going to say no. That's not cool.
AITA for leaving a party when they booked a little person stripper. I think I have talked about this situation now for a long time. And I think it is ultimately info for me because I think it does rest on the intent of this person and what the stripper was told. And for me, it's a big fat info.
I guess it is info. I would lean towards NTA, but I do still want more info in general.
NTA and the other person is. So you think the little person's an asshole?
No, the people who booked them.
Oh, the person who, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the person who left is definitely not the asshole, because that's kind of the most powerful, like the best thing that you can do if you're in an uncomfortable situation is to leave.
Right.
And I don't see like a good, I'm just trying to use like probability. I'm like, what are really the odds that these people did this with like the best of intentions? And I'm like,
right.
I'm not seeing it. So yeah, I'm going to go NTA.
We should note that a lot of people on the Facebook just reduced this to the financial aspect, right? They were just like, oh, well, they were paid, so they're paid, so that's that. But I don't think that's
I think
reasonable.
This is kind of deeper than that.
Because if like you pay a comedian and then the point of them is to shit on them or make fun of their act, or like everyone's talking during their act, like, yeah, you're going to hate the booker. So like.
Right. And it's not nice to treat a person that way,
No.
even if you're paying them. So yeah, it's not nice to like treat your waiter like shit, even if you're going to tip them a lot.
That's a great point. That's a great way to put it. All right. Well, I don't
Man,
know.
we gotta look at the elbow next
We tried to
time.
high five and failed. Guys, that's the episode. Let us know your thoughts. To put us on the form. I don't even know. I've run out of words.
Put us on the form.
Put us on the form.
Yep. Join the Facebook group. Rate, review, subscribe. You know what to do.
We'll see you next Monday morning.